It started with confirmation, not a rumor, not a leak, not a blurry screenshot floating around social media. A confirmation that Aaron Pierre was officially a father. And just like that, the internet shifted. What had once been speculation turned into reality. What had once been whispers suddenly became headlines. But that wasn't the part that truly shook social media. The real shock came from the timing. Because this confirmation didn't arrive during a period of public celebration or romantic bliss. It came after the split, after the silence. After Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre had already gone their separate ways. And just when people thought they understood the narrative, Teyana spoke out. Now let's rewind. For weeks, maybe even months, there had been subtle signs. Fans, especially in the digital age, are detectives. A missing photo here, a cryptic caption there. A shift in tone during interviews, a quiet unfollow. A noticeable absence from each other's social feeds. It doesn't take much for the internet to start connecting dots. And when it comes to celebrity relationships, those dots are often drawn in bold ink. People began noticing that Teyana and Aaron weren't appearing together as frequently. Public sightings decreased. Social media interactions slowed. Then came the speculation. Were they still together? Was something brewing behind the scenes? No one knew for sure, but the conversation was gaining momentum. Then came the baby rumors. At first, it was subtle chatter. A few online forums discussing timelines. Fan pages suggesting something major had happened quietly. Nothing concrete, nothing verified. But in today's culture, speculation spreads faster than confirmation. And once the idea was planted, it grew. Every post became evidence. Every public appearance became a clue. Was there a hidden announcement coming? A private celebration happening behind closed doors? The mystery intensified because neither Aaron nor Teyana addressed it directly. And in celebrity culture, silence is often louder than words. When the confirmation finally came that Aaron Pierre was indeed a father, the internet paused just for a second and then erupted. Congratulations poured in. Shock flooded timelines. Some fans were genuinely happy for him. Others were stunned by the timing because by that point, the split between him and Teyana had already been acknowledged. And that's where things became complicated. Because now people weren't just reacting to fatherhood, they were reacting to context, to timing, to narrative. Suddenly, every unanswered question from the past few weeks felt heavier. The public response was layered. On one side were supporters celebrating new life, emphasizing that fatherhood is a blessing regardless of circumstances. On the other side were critics questioning the timeline, wondering what it meant for the relationship that had just ended. Was the split connected? Was it coincidental? Had it already been over long before the baby news surfaced? Social media doesn't wait for clarity, it creates its own. Threads exploded with theories. TikTok creators broke down possible timelines. Comment sections filled with speculation. And in the center of it all was Teyana Taylor, quiet. And then she wasn't. When Teyana finally spoke out after the split, the tone of the entire conversation shifted. It wasn't explosive, it wasn't messy. It wasn't filled with accusations or bitterness. It was controlled, reflective, strong. That's what surprised people the most. Because when the internet braces for drama, it expects tears, shade, or chaos. Instead, Teyana delivered composure. She spoke about growth, about peace, about moving forward. She didn't dive into details fans were desperate to dissect. She didn't confirm or deny every rumor swirling around. What she did was reframe the narrative. She positioned herself not as a victim, not as someone blindsided, but as a woman choosing dignity over spectacle. And that's when the emotional weight of the story truly landed. Because now this wasn't just about fatherhood. It wasn't just about a breakup. It became about perception, about how people navigate personal transitions under a public spotlight. The internet thrives on emotional extremes. It loves outrage. It feeds on confrontation. But Teyana's response didn't give it that. It gave maturity. And that maturity forced people to look at the situation differently. Some praised her strength. Some questioned whether there was more beneath the surface. But almost everyone agreed on one thing: she handled it with grace. Still, that didn't stop the speculation machine. Fans analyzed her words carefully. What did she mean by growth? What did she imply about timing? Was there subtle shade hidden between the lines? Social media thrives on reading meanings that may not even exist. Meanwhile, Aaron Pierre's confirmation as a father continued circulating. Interviews were dissected. Public appearances were examined. Body language experts appeared on timelines offering interpretations. It became less about facts and more about perception. And here's where it gets deeper. Celebrity relationships often become public property, not by choice but by visibility. When two public figures are together, their union becomes content. Their happiness becomes entertainment. Their struggles become headlines. So when that union ends, especially around a major life event like parenthood, people feel entitled to answers. They want explanations. They want clean timelines. They want cause and effect, but life rarely unfolds that neatly. Sometimes events overlap in ways that are uncomfortable but not necessarily scandalous. What made this story captivating wasn't chaos, it was ambiguity. There was no explosive expose. No public fight, no messy live streams, just confirmation, a split, and composure. And in many ways, that restraint made the situation more intense. Because without chaos to focus on, people focused on possibilities. Was the split amicable? Was fatherhood known privately long before it became public? Was the relationship already over before any announcement? The questions multiplied because clarity remained limited. Meanwhile, broader conversations began emerging about double standards. Some observers pointed out how fatherhood announcements are often celebrated without scrutiny, while women in similar situations face harsher judgment. Others discussed how celebrity men and women are treated differently when relationships end near major life changes. The story expanded beyond just Aaron and Teyana. It became about fame, about privacy, about accountability, about perception. And let's talk about timing. Timing in celebrity news is everything. If the confirmation had come months before the split, the reaction might have been different. If the breakup had happened long after, the narratives might have felt separate. But because the two events were so close together, they fused. And once two headlines merge, they're nearly impossible to untangle in public memory. Teyana's statement introduced a new emotional layer. She emphasized independence, personal evolution, maintaining peace. There was no detectable bitterness. In her tone, no emotional spiral. That control was powerful. It signaled that whatever happened behind closed doors, she was choosing forward movement over public conflict. That doesn't mean there weren't emotions involved. Of course there were. Breakups are rarely simple. But she refused to let speculation define her. Aaron, on the other hand, faced a different kind of pressure. Fatherhood brings celebration, but it also brings responsibility. And when that confirmation enters the public sphere during a relationship transition, scrutiny intensifies. People don't just celebrate, they evaluate. They compare timelines. They question. It's the nature of modern celebrity culture. Every major life update becomes a public debate. What's fascinating is how quickly the internet's tone shifts. One day, shock. Next day, congratulations. Then analysis. Then fatigue. Then renewed interest when a new interview clip surfaces. Stories don't move in straight lines anymore, they pulse. They resurface, they evolve. And this one has all the elements that keep it alive: love, separation, new life, public statements, unanswered questions. But at its core, this is about two people navigating life changes under a spotlight. Teyana Taylor has built her career on reinvention and resilience. Speaking calmly after the split aligned with the persona she's consistently presented.